We all have to make tough choices, right? Sometimes you just feel stuck. But what if I told you there's a simple tool that can help you make smarter, healthier decisions every single time? Well, there is. And today, we're going to break it all down.
You know the feeling. It might be that classic dilemma. Should I hit the books for that huge test tomorrow or just go hang out with my friends? Or maybe it's something way trickier, like a friend daring you to do something you know is a little risky. These moments can feel, well, pretty overwhelming.
Look, making a good decision isn't always a walk in the park, but you don't have to just guess and hope for the best. There's actually a super powerful framework you can use to walk through these moments with a ton of confidence. And here it is. It's called the DECIDE model. Now, it's basically a 6-step process that's designed to guide you toward choices that really line up with your goals, your health, and what you truly believe in. And yep, you guessed it. Each letter in the word DECIDE stands for a very specific step.
Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to break down this entire model step by step. And to make it totally clear, we're going to use a classic real-life example that I think pretty much everyone can relate to.
So here's our roadmap. DECIDE. Define, explore, consider, identify, decide, and evaluate. We're going to go through each one, but just seeing them all laid out like this, you can already feel how logical it is, right? Let's kick things off with D. All right, the first step, and honestly, this might be the most important one, is to define the problem. This is all about getting crystal clear on what the actual decision is that you're facing. It's what stops you from making a gut reaction choice that you might regret 5 minutes later. So let's put it into practice. That kind of vague, anxious feeling in your stomach becomes a super clear question. Should I study for my math test tonight, or should I play video games? See? You can't find the right answer if you're not asking the right question. Moving on to E, and this is for explore the alternatives. This is so key because life is almost never a simple this or that choice. We often fall into this trap of thinking there are only 2 options when, in reality, there are usually way more. So instead of just study or play, check out all these other possibilities. You could grind it out now and play later. Or you could flip it. Play now and get up super early to study. Or, and this is probably my favorite, you could try a mix. Study for a bit, then take a game break as a reward. Brainstorming like this really opens up a world of better solutions. Okay, next up is C, for consider the consequences. I want you to think of this as playing chess with your choices. You're thinking a few moves ahead. For every single one of those alternatives you just listed, what are the potential results, both the good and the bad? It really comes down to trade-offs. If you decide to study now, the consequence is you're going to feel prepared, confident, and proud. But if you play now, a very real consequence is that you might bomb the test and then have to deal with all the stress that comes with that. Thinking ahead really makes the stakes clear. Now we get to a really personal step. I, for identify your values. Your values are your core beliefs, the things that are most important to you, like honesty or responsibility or taking care of your health. Think of them as your own internal compass, always pointing you toward choices that feel right for you. So you've got to ask yourself, which one of these options really fits with who I am and what I believe in? If doing your best in school is something you genuinely care about, then suddenly the choice to study becomes a whole lot clearer. It's not just about a test anymore, it's about being true to yourself. Okay, we have done the heavy lifting. The next D stands for decide and act. You've weighed your options, you've thought about the consequences, and you've checked in with your values. Now it's time to actually make the choice. And this part is just as important, actually do it. So you commit to it. For instance, I'm going to study for 1 hour, and then I'm going to reward myself with some game time. You know what? That feels awesome, because it wasn't a random guess. It was an informed, thought-out decision. And there's a real confidence that comes from that. And finally, we get to E, for evaluate the results. This last step is what turns you from a good decision maker into a great one over time. It's all about taking a moment to look back and see how things actually played out. You just ask yourself a few simple questions. How did that work out? Was it really the best call? Would I do the same thing again? In our example, the student totally aced the test and got to play games. That is a total win-win. This little bit of reflection is what helps you learn and get even better for the next time. So now that we've walked through the whole process, let's see how this incredible model works in other tough real-world situations. Because it's not just for homework, folks. It's for, well, pretty much everything. This model is amazing for the big stuff too. Let's take peer pressure. The problem isn't just vaping, it's that friends want you to do something unhealthy. Your options aren't just yes or no. You can walk away, you could change the subject. By running it through the model, you can confidently decide to say no thanks, which lines up with your value of health. The result? You feel proud and in control. And the same logic works perfectly for social media drama or just figuring out how to manage your time. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? It's that you are in the driver's seat. When you have a framework like this, you stop just reacting to what life throws at you. You start actively making choices that you believe in.
Let's just run through it one last time to really lock it into your brain. Define, explore, consider, identify, decide, and evaluate. This right here, this is your new superpower.
And this is why it matters so much. Every single day, you are making choices, some big, some small. And every single one of them is a building block that shapes your health, your friendships, and yeah, your entire future. So the next time you're facing a tough choice, remember this framework. You have everything you need to stop, think, and make a decision that you can be truly proud of. Think smart, choose smart, decide smart.